The senior class has chosen to honor their teachers this afternoon, by having a faculty member address the class and by inviting retiring teachers to participate in the ceremony. This afternoon, our retirees, Mr. Andy Kiefer, Ms. Debbie Curry, Mr. Paul DiStefano, Dr. Craig Miller, Mr. Mike Nelson, Ms. Nancy Park, and Ms. Phyllis Shannon will greet the graduates with me as they come forward to receive their diplomas in a few minutes. The senior class has chosen Mr. Andy Cantrell to deliver this afternoon's faculty address. Mr. Cantrell is from Excelsior Springs. He attended William Jewell College and earned a bachelor degrees in history and philosophy. He developed an interest in teaching while working at the Southeast Elementary as an adventure club counselor. He earned a master's degree in education from Rockhurst University. He began his teaching career as a long-term substitute in the district. He then moved into his special education as a TA. He was hired as a full-time teacher in 2011 and began his coursework in psychology at Avalon University, where he completed it in 2014. Currently, he teaches AP dual credit psychology and coaches Scholar Bowl. At Park Hill South, Mr. Cantrell is tremendously passionate about education and the transformative impact it can have on his students. His joys in life are Sari Cantrell, his wife of 13 years, his two children, Adrian and Milo, ages 12 and 9, and his dog, Nugget. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Cantrell. Please help me welcome Mr. Cantrell this afternoon.
Wow. Look at all these beautiful people. Friends, today I would like to talk to you about challenges. For the class of 2018, the last 4 years of high school were fraught with challenges. You survived the Ice Bucket Challenge, the Kylie Jenner Lip Challenge, the Salt Ice Challenge, and of course, the Tide Pod Challenge. But in all seriousness, the ability to overcome the challenges of life requires grit. Grit is passion and perseverance towards achieving a goal. Sometimes it is called stick-to-itiveness. The fact that you are here today is a testament to your grit. Although I'm confident that you will be able to overcome the challenges that life throws at you, I want to share 5 pieces of advice I would give myself if I had a time machine and could go back to my own high school graduation almost 20 years ago. I know you're excited, maybe even nervous about what the future holds. Perhaps you're just thrilled for no more tests and pop quizzes. But I'm here to tell you, life is a series of pop quizzes with no warning, no study guide, and often no correct answer. My first piece of advice, then, is never stop learning. Read, grow, and expand your mind. Do not pass up chances to experience new things. Sometimes these moments can seem like inconveniences or even be scary. But it is crucial to frame these as opportunities for growth rather than a drag on your social calendar. The more you learn, the more you experience. The more you experience, the more you'll know. And the more you know, the more you'll grow. Remember that everyone you meet knows something you do not. My second piece of advice is stay humble. Never forget you were born with 2 ears but only 1 mouth, so that you can listen more and speak less. Take every opportunity to learn from others, even the annoying ones, especially the annoying ones. For as humanistic psychologist Carl Rogers once said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a greater understanding of ourselves. Often in life, we seek certainty, and we wish to be seen as an expert. And sometimes this leads us to fake it till we make it. But pretending to be an expert when you aren't one is a lot like having a mustard stain on your shirt. It is obvious to everyone around you, but often we are oblivious. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to change your path. Heck, I didn't even decide on my career until after I finished college. Sorry, parents. They may be going to school for 9 years and never end up being a doctor. One of the aspects I enjoy most about teaching is that it accentuates my most positive traits, allowing me to be the best version of myself. Psychologists call this self-actualization, but it took me some time, a few false starts, and a lot of learning to get here. This leads me to my third piece of advice. Keep searching until you find the career, the people that help you be that best version of yourself. For me, these are my colleagues and administrators, but especially my A100s pod fam, my friends, my children, and of course, my lovely wife. Don't surround yourself with people who try to control or dictate your dreams and ambitions. This is known in psychology as identity foreclosure. The main reason I waited so long to become a teacher was because I was discouraged from choosing that path by a few members of my family. I was told everything from, "That's a woman's job," to, "You'll never gain any respect or earn any money doing that." Although it took me 5 years after finishing college to take the plunge, my one regret is that I didn't start teaching sooner. It is common to feel pressure to follow in the footsteps of an adult family member, especially if he or she is footing the bill for college. But the worst thing you can do is choose a career path to please someone else. I hope you are surrounded by people who build you up instead of trying to talk you into something that will make you miserable. Tip number 4, be kind to yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone fails, but failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. And this is a hard one to practice, but worry less about what others say about you. For example, let's say you have a bank account with $86,400 in it. You discover that someone stole $10 from you. Would you throw away all $86,390 in hopes of getting back at that person that took your $10? Or would you move on and live? I don't know about you, but $86,390 sounds pretty good to me. You may be wondering why I chose that specific number. We have 86,400 seconds in every day, so don't let someone's negative 10 seconds ruin the rest of your 86,390. Don't sweat the small stuff. Life is bigger than that. Learn to love yourself. Love your imperfections, both physical, emotional, and psychological. It took me a long time to be comfortable in my own skin. Experience love. Love is not about finding a perfect person. It's about seeing an imperfect person perfectly. One might apply this either to themselves, to their family, or to that special someone out there. When we strive to find perfection in others or in ourselves, we tend to see only flaws, not strengths. Love is but the discovery of ourselves in others and the delight in that recognition. Don't be afraid to stand alone. This takes courage and strength. Don't be afraid to be outnumbered. Eagles fly alone, but pigeons flock together. And remember, you were born an original. Don't die a copy. A student in this audience reminded me recently of a story I once told in my psychology class. I was eating at a restaurant and happened to have the worst service of my life. The waitress was rude, our orders were wrong, and the overall experience was unpleasant. When it came time to pay the bill, the people I was dining with decided that they weren't going to leave a tip. I always tip, and so should you. I left a tip that would make up for my cheapskate friends, and I left. I never thought much about it, but a few months later I returned. The waitress approached me and asked if she could buy my meal. She explained that the last time I was in, she was having the worst week of her life. She felt like she just couldn't do anything right. I was the only one who gave her a tip that day. She said that that moment made her break down because all she needed was kindness, any kindness. This one simple act changed the entire course of her week. The point here is that each and every one of our actions has a rippling effect. So tip number 5 is be kind to others. What may seem inconsequential to you can have a tremendous impact on the lives of those and others around them. 4 years ago, I met an annoying group of freshmen. Y'all know who you are. It's my tutorial. We've seen many changes, not all of them pleasant. But this year, one student said, "You know, it's weird. We started off as strangers, but now we a family." I have learned so much from this graduating class and can only hope that you all have learned something from me. I would like to finish with a story. My son Milo once wrote a card to his kindergarten teacher for Teacher Appreciation Day. It simply read, "Dear teacher, are you really trying your best?" Harsh words for sure. But I think this is something you should always stop and ask yourself as you go through life. Are you really trying your best? Class of 2018, thank you so much for choosing me to be your speaker. I hope this advice is helpful to you someday, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you. Thank you.
Well done, Mr. Cantrell.